Hi, Joanne. How are you?
Hi, Iwona. I'm very good. Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So we had that hypnosis session 3 weeks ago, and I would really like you to tell us more about what was the problem that you came with.
I asked you to help me with my craving for sugar. So I would go through different sort of phases, I guess, where I would want, if I was feeling stressed or emotionally low, I would feel the need to want to have some sweetness in my life. So I would just eat sugar or anything that was sweet. And I work for a retailer and we sell a lot of sweets and cakes and stuff, and quite often they would be on the side, and every time I walked past I would take something, and and sometimes it would just be constant feeding myself, drip feeding myself with sugar, processed sugar, and sort of having an interest in health and wellness anyway. I clearly knew that this wasn't doing me any good, and also sort of being open to hypnotherapy. I asked Iwona, I asked your good self, if you would hypnotize me into eradicating processed sugar from my diet, full stop. And quite often I know I wouldn't want to eat sugar, but there'd be this internal struggle of, going, yes you do, and no I don't, yes you do, no I don't. And then if I did give in and I did eat it, then I would feel great about it, and then I'd be beating myself up for not having the willpower and the strength to do that. We went through the session, and I just came out of it feeling very at ease and calm, not giving it too much of thought really. Next day, there's a load of toffees sitting on the worktop at work. Didn't touch one of them. And 3 weeks on, I still haven't had a single sweet or biscuit or cake in that time. My mother had a birthday halfway through those 3 weeks, and there was lots of cakes and puddings there, which I all enjoy and love all of them, but I declined and I said no thank you, and I was absolutely fine with it. There was no inner struggle, there was no little voice in your head saying go on, you want to. I was just absolutely at one with it. It was I knew I'd made the decision not to eat sweet and include sugar in my diet in the way I used to. And the fact that, I couldn't join everybody with the excitement of having that sugary rush was absolutely okay with me. It really didn't bug me or irk me in any way. I was just at one with it. And here at work, we have 3 different items in the canteen ready for everybody to share. I don't know if you can see that very well, but there's some flapjacks there, and there's some crispy caramels, and a chocolate cupcake and some chocolate rolls. And I would have probably had one of each at minimum on my break, and if there was nobody in the room, I'd probably have had more. And of course in time, my weight fluctuates up and down, and there's all different sort of consequences from eating too much sugar. But since in the 3 weeks where I have had no sugar other than sugar from fresh fruit, I just haven't had any cravings. I just haven't thought about it. I can go into a shop and not even think about it. I walk past the chocolates in the shop and I'll go, the thought will generally be, oh, that used to be once upon a time I would have bought that, but it's no longer my life anymore, and I just make the decision I don't need it. It doesn't do me any good. I know I'm better off for it. I've invested in the decision to have the hypnotherapy, and so therefore I'm going to live by it, and so far I have. for most of the time, I just sort of think, don't need it, doesn't nourish me, and I've made the decision not to have it. It's a no, and it's not part of my lifestyle anymore. When I'm at work, and sometimes the pressure's on and I'm feeling the stress a little bit, there's still a little bit, and it's there, and I think I could just have one, but luckily, you know, the hypnosis has set the pattern in now that I go, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not letting myself down. I've made a decision for myself, and I'm going to honour it, and I stick to it. And once I've had that thought and made that decision, just move on, and it's not even in my head again. I move on to whatever I'm doing next, and the focus shifts completely. There's no little nagging going, you know, you want to just one bite and you won't, you know, there's just none of that. And it's such a huge relief not to have that inner conflict. It's just lovely. Surprised that 3 weeks on it hasn't worn off, and I still feel that conviction, and it's a very easy decision to make, and it's still a huge relief, and it's just lovely. And I'm hugely grateful that I'm not sort of what's the word? I'm not driven or motivated by the sugar anymore. It's not got a hold on me anymore. I can say no, you know, I can take a pudding round to my parents for dinner, and they sit and have the pudding, and I'll go, no thank you, and my mum will go, you sure you don't want any, Jo? And I'll go, no thank you. And that's it. You know, they sit and eat theirs. I don't even notice them eating their pudding. It's just so not on my radar anymore. It's just lovely, huge relief.
Amazing. So what's the long-term benefit for you of not having that craving for sugar?
Well, I feel like I'm in more control of myself, and I don't have this inner battle. And for me, that's been the biggest thing, because as soon as I give in, I'm probably beating myself up for being so weak. I don't have that fight with myself anymore, and that's brilliant. The other thing is the weight loss. I've started to feel the weight dropping off because I'm not taking in all those extra calories. And, you know, I have people saying to me, have you lost weight? And I'll go, oh, I don't know, maybe a little bit. But, you know, and I feel more comfortable in my clothes. I don't feel so bloated. But I think the strongest thing for me is not being controlled by it. I think that's the biggest thing I've come, and the relief of not having feel I need to give in to anyone, and it's a struggle and a fight, because it's just a decision now, and I move on, and it's not even a second thought after the decision. I think that's the biggest thing for me. So I've always found that the thought of having that chocolate or that piece of cake or whatever is always much stronger, and it always seems better at the end of the day in your mind. It always tastes better in your mind. And you have that first bite and you think, yes, this is really nice, it's lovely, and you have the excitement and the taste buds going. And then the second bite's it's quite nice, but now it's not as exciting. The third bite, it's now I'm just eating it for the sake of it. But now, I want to find that exciting thrill of sugar, that sweetness, that nice feeling that it brings up in you. But it doesn't matter how much more you eat after that first bite, it's never going to be the same experience again. And so you keep eating more and more to try and justify the reason why you're eating more, to get that feeling again, and it's never there. So, for me, I've found that if you do have a serious or any mild addiction to sugar, that you definitely give hypnotherapy a chance. It's a lovely way of relaxing out of life, first of all. It's a lovely session, but also it just changes a pattern in you And without you, the only effort you have to put in is to just be resolute in your decision. And now you may feel that at this point, before you've had hypnotherapy, that is still quite hard work. But as I've said before, somehow that inner conflict disappears. And when you make that decision to say, no, it's not part of my lifestyle anymore, it's not part of my decision and what I eat and my choices anymore, there's just this absolutely being fine with it. There's no conflict. And so when you're in the hypnotherapy, you just got to sit back and just let it happen and just be guided by the hypnotherapist, and just trust that when you come out of it and you step into your everyday life, it just seamlessly fits in. And although it might feel a little bit different at first because you're so used to making those decisions, because you're so at one with the decision of not having it, it's fine. And if you're struggling with having perseverance, and it's still a bit stronger, you just have another session. It doesn't matter how many sessions you have, because it all depends on you as a person. It depends on your reason for wanting that sugar and needing that sugar, and what it brings to you emotionally. And it's just a case of reiterating it within the unconscious at the end of the day, creating a new pattern, a new positive habit. And I can't recommend it enough. You have a huge wealth of knowledge of using different techniques, not just within the hypnotherapy session. Mine was quite funny because you had a horn blasting every time I was going to think of eating something sweet, which made me chuckle as well for a first week at least. Now I don't think about it too much, but the first few days I had to keep laughing every time I saw a sweet, because I could hear this horn going off in my ear and it would make me laugh. And but now, I don't even think about the alarm of the horn going off at all. It's just more a decision I make. But coming back to your abilities and your sort of way of doing hypnotherapy is clearly very effective. It's a lovely experience, and a very professional and loving space is created to help you make those changes, and I couldn't recommend you enough.
Thank you so much, John. Yeah, and you are sweet enough, so you do not need any substitutions to your own sweetness other than delicious, juicy fruit to enjoy, so you can enjoy your life without any junk that is destroying your health and your vitality, and more than anything, feeling you bad with yourself, that you didn't respect your own health. So I think that must be really rewarding to know now that you are in control and you have that freedom over that. And if you choose to enjoy a piece of sweet from time to time, like there's a special occasion, there is nothing wrong with that, but it's on your terms, and it is when you say it is allowable, not something that is taking control over you. That's important.
That's right. And it's so lovely to have the freedom to be able to say no thank you, and it be okay. It's not the end of the world. So yeah, it's brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.